In front of me are some of the world's most expensive fish, and behind them is the worst chef in YouTube history. But today, I'm putting every penny on the line.
From massive tuna to emerald seafood, I'll have to fillet, cook, and rate them all. And by the end, I'll attempt to make a perfect paella, one of the most difficult seafood recipes on the planet, all by myself.
Before I show you guys the first fish, I have a seafood mystery box. Inside is a live seafood, and at the end of this video, I'm gonna be opening and eating whatever is inside of it completely raw. Ugh, I know, right?
And now it's time to check out these expensive species.
In my hand right now is a monchong. It's actually a native Hawaiian fish. Something that really makes me excited about these guys is how long their fins are. Their dorsal fin up top is like a statement piece. It's like someone that wears a mohawk. And then you see even their pectoral fins, it's almost the length of like their entire body, which is kind of unique for most fish species. Another thing I really like about them is that they're super rounded. They have really sharp teeth. It is a predatory fish. It's not down there eating grass or anything. This thing is eating other fish. So, ow, I actually just cut myself on its teeth. Look. All right, now that we know exactly what we're dealing with, we're gonna start to fillet this guy. We're gonna start with this size fillet knife, but as this video goes on, not only are the fish gonna get bigger, but the knives are gonna have to get bigger too. Step one to filleting this fish is lifting its oversized fin.
And then you make an incision right behind the rib cage. You've got to be very precise with every cut, otherwise you risk ruining your fillet.
It didn't work. It literally didn't work. Oh, that one worked.
Now that the first cut is made, it's time to run your blade along the spine of the fish.
And then after that, I'm gonna go ahead and put my hands kind of in the crevice of its meat. And you're kind of gonna run that knife along the inside of the fish. Just make sure you get a clean cut. Bro, cutting this fish is literally giving me anxiety. I'm supposed to cut a full-size tuna after this that cost me thousands. And I'm like, I can't even fillet this freaking mapachi or whatever. Like, yo. It might not be the prettiest fillet, but it's mine. Even with half of it missing, it's still pretty freaking heavy. Okay.
Up next, we have the mahi.
What a lot of people don't know about the mahi is that it's the fastest growing fish in the entire ocean. When it's originally born, it's like the size of your pinky, and by the end of the year, it's 15 pounds. Guys, think about that for a sec. Something going from this size to literally this size in 365 days. If you do I'm not gonna do the math actually. Another cool thing about them is that they have a very unique speckled pattern on the bottom of the fish, and it's like literally emerald colored. You don't see a lot of fish that are this color in the ocean. Not only is it the fastest growing fish and one of the fastest in the ocean, it's also one of the most delicious. I learned my lesson last time. I'm actually gonna put gloves on. Okay, let's get into it. The cool part about this mahi is that it's like a normal freaking fish, all right? The last one was like the size of the moon. So we're gonna go ahead and make this first incision right behind the head, and its meat is gorgeous. Like, it's actually so beautiful. And we're gonna go ahead and follow the spine line all the way down. Once you make your like 1-inch incision, you're gonna start going deeper into the fish gradually. So what I like to do is I'll lift one side of the meat, right? And then after that, I make small little cuts until I'm all the way through. By no means rushing it. At one point, you're gonna get to the point in the fish where you could kind of just lift it from the back, and all of this meat is gonna present itself, and then you're just gonna go ahead, make those final cuts through the rib. Oh, look, it's pregnant. It's actually pregnant. Look, this is all roe. These are all baby dolphin, okay? And funny enough, a lot of people eat this, the roe, but we're not gonna. This is what our mahi fillet looks like. It's actually super beautiful.
Now that we're done with the mahi, it's time to move on to our next fish.
In front of me is a wahoo. Oh, this one's kind of heavy, I'm not gonna lie. This is one of the best eating fish in the world. This fish is incredibly aerodynamic. So it's like a torpedo, okay? If you ever see them in the water, it'll be there and then it won't be. Time to make the first cut. We're gonna go ahead and do that angled cut. Wow, this fish's meat is beautiful. It's like very white. And now we're gonna go ahead and run down along the spine of the fish. Wow. This whole time I'm filleting these fish, I'm so excited to cut that tuna. Wow, look at how white this freaking fish is, man. It's so beautiful. Dude, this is awesome. Oh my gosh, that's a fillet and a half right there. Look at that. The quality of this meat is so good that I want to have it raw. All right, so I'm slicing very thin. That's super fire. I don't even want to cook this. I could just eat the whole thing as sushi. But we have the next fish to fillet.
And oh boy, is our next fish a big one.
He's slippery. Get the shot. Get the shot. This fish is called an opah, and it's very closely related to a sunfish. Bro, I feel like this thing, it's hazardous. It's hazardous to handle, but we're gonna keep going. All over this fish are a lot of speckled spots. And you might be wondering, what is its defense mechanism? I'm so glad you asked. It has none. No defense. It's not fast, it can't run. It actually just gets eaten by sea lions, okay? Their main defense mechanism is having millions of babies at once. This creature produces such an insane amount of offspring that that's how it survives, okay? You come across them and they're practically an easy meal. The only thing cooler than this fish is the way that you fillet it.
And it's time to upgrade our knives to something a bit bigger.
First, you're gonna fillet the body of it. And how you're gonna do that is going right up the side of it, all the way up to its spine line, down the spine line, and through the tail. All right, so as you're cutting into it, you need to avoid this big fin area. All right, now we're gonna go into the spine line. I feel like a freaking samurai with this knife. Oh, that was sick, that was sick. Oh my gosh. I'm gassed. This is a big fish. Okay, all right, I think I finished the loin. Wow, what a beautiful fish. This is what the fillet looks like. I'm scared of the tuna. I don't want to fillet a bigger fish.
It's time to conquer my fears and use what I've learned for our final fish.
This is a tuna, and this specific tuna is called a yellowtail tuna. These guys are actually absolutely beautiful in the wild. They have two fins that are really long that extend out beside them. Once they're commercially caught and harvested, those fins are cut off because like it's just unnecessary surface area. This fish gets between 6 to 8 feet long and can weigh up to 400 pounds. Believe it or not, this is a small one, but a very expensive one. This cost me thousands of dollars. I'm actually, guys, please like this video and subscribe. Like, I really need it. Tuna are the most aerodynamic fish in the entire ocean. So for that reason, they have one of the top speeds in the ocean. They are constantly hunting sardines, and they're kind of like moving tanks in the water, okay? When they hit your bait, or like if you're fishing them, whatever you're doing, they strike fast, okay? They attack fast. Something else I'm looking at is you might have noticed that there's a chunk of the tail missing. And the reason why is because this is such a valued fish that right when it's caught, they cut a portion of the tail out, specifically to look at the quality of meat of the fish. The reason that I'm particularly scared about this fish is because this is the one where if I have one wrong cut or miss even a little bit of it, I'm losing hundreds of dollars. Like, actually, that's not a joke. So we have to make sure we do it right. And for that reason,
it's time to bust out the double knives.
All right, ladies and gents, the moments we've all been waiting for. One wrong swipe and it's all over. I lose hundreds of dollars. All right, we're just gonna do it. You just gotta do everything with confidence these days. If you don't know what you're doing, pretend like you do. So I've made my first cut, all right? And then after the first cut, we're gonna follow down the spine line like I've been doing with most of the fish. I need my second knife. This knife I'm putting in the top to hold as a stabilizer. This knife I'm gonna be doing the cutting with. Now, it's really important to follow the spine line best you're able to, because that's how you're gonna get the most yield out of the fish. Ugh. Now we're gonna cut the top loin of this tuna. So we're gonna put our knives in at the entry point. Okay, we're gonna put our hand at this side of the knife and we're gonna just finish the cut. Nice, beautiful. Then we're gonna do the same with this knife over here. Wow, this is some beautiful fish meat. Okay, all right, guys, I think I did it. I think I well, I know I did it actually. Look at this piece of tuna. Isn't that awesome? The crazy part about this cut on the tuna is that even though it's like, I think I did pretty well, I didn't do perfect. And the reason I say that is because I see an entire line of meat that I missed right over here. People pay $100 for this at a sushi restaurant, like no BS.
I've successfully filleted each of these very expensive fish, but now it's time to see if I have what it takes to properly cook each of them. I'm going to have to prep my ingredients, add everything to the stove, and try not to burn these fish.
These are the fillets from the fish, and now we need to prep our ingredients, which are
corn, peppers, onions, parsley, tomato, lemon, and garlic.
Start out with your corn. What you're gonna do is peel each individual piece. Once you've got all your corn, you're gonna go ahead and chop the top part of it off because it's like the stalk. You don't want that in your food. Now you're gonna cut all of the individual pieces of corn off your cob. We just need a few. We're gonna put all of this corn into the bowl. Now for the peppers, you're gonna go ahead and take all of the tops off. Now that you have your peppers cut, they all have seeds on the inside. So you don't want these seeds in your dish. So what you're gonna do is go ahead and pretty much just remove the middle of them. A little tip whenever you're cooking, listen, you could be a bad chef, but at least do it safely, okay? You're gonna go ahead and take your knife and you're pretty much gonna pinch the base of the blade with your thumb and index finger. When you pinch the blade like this, it's pretty much gonna be an extension of your hand, and then the other hand you're gonna turn into a claw. And then from there, you're gonna go ahead and cover your food so that, oh my God, I almost just cut myself. See, even like with the safety tips, you could really mess up. So you gotta be careful when using knives. I've yet to find a trick that doesn't make me cry when I cut onions. So if you have one, please comment. I don't like a whole lot of tomato personally, so we're just gonna cut a little bit of it, maybe like a third of the tomato. Time for your garlic. I like a lot of garlic, so I'm gonna put like this whole clove in. Time for a lemon. Oh, I hit it. That was sick. Okay. Parsley. We're just gonna cut some of the tops off. And then we're gonna go ahead and chop this very thin and make sure you don't cut your hands.
Now it's time to add everything to the stove. This is where I really can't mess up.
We're gonna start by putting in olive oil. So we're gonna use a decent amount because it's a big pan and we're making a lot of paella. And after that, you're gonna go ahead and sprinkle in some little finely chopped pieces of bacon.
While I wait for the bacon to sizzle, it's time to add everything I prepped earlier, plus some butter, seasonings, white wine, and rice.
The rice is gonna soak up all of like that seasoning and white wine mixture, so it's gonna taste like super flavorful. And you're gonna wanna make sure that you have like a super even layer on your rice in the pan. And a way to make sure that that happens is you just give your pan a little shake and then it'll go ahead and even out. We're also gonna add in our parsley right now. We're gonna let this cook for 1 minute just like this. And after that, you're gonna go ahead and use chicken broth. We need it to come to a boil, so don't be afraid to put in a decent amount of chicken broth. You're gonna cook this for 15 to 18 minutes uncovered, and that's so all of the extra juices kind of evaporate out. And it's gonna reduce so that you just have like the rice and all the things that you're eventually gonna eat at the end. While we wait, I wanna remind you that I need to eat this live animal at the end of the video completely raw. So we're just gonna wait for this to cook for 15 to 18. Hey, settle down in there. All right, you'll get your turn.
Now it's time to add in our frozen peas and corn. I love peas.
Now, for the moment we've all been waiting for, it's finally time to add the seafood. Hey, you settle down in there, all right? That was kind of hard. I kind of feel bad, but it's okay. I'm gonna eat it, so who cares, you know?
These fillets are my masterpieces, and I need to carefully cook these in order for this dish to turn out as good as I'm hoping.
But first, you need to chop it very thinly, so here we go. There we go. Oh, it came out pretty good. At this point, you're gonna just start to nestle your seafood into this mixture. Now that your fish is in there, you're gonna let it cook uncovered for 5 more minutes, and then you're gonna put your top back on.
And after 5 minutes, it's time to mix everything together.
We're just gonna go ahead and kind of mix this up right now. So, am I the best chef on YouTube now? And now, because you want even cooking, you're always gonna shake it out before you leave it again. It's like a workout. And now you're gonna put your cover on and leave it on for another 10 minutes while all of this kind of cooks together. The frozen peas are gonna become unfrozen. The fish is gonna fully cook through. It's gonna be gas.
Now that I've patiently waited 10 minutes, it's time to take this pan off the heat, plate each fish, and add some lemon on top of it all.
Great, now they're ready to try.
I'm going to be rating each dish based off how flavorful they are and if I would buy them again to see if these expensive options are actually worth it.
First up, we're gonna try the monchong. Wow. I know what I think.
As zombie looking as the monchong was, it kind of tasted like most other fish. It had that flaky, mild consistency to it, which is kind of reliable. 7.2 out of 10.
Next up is the mahi, and I know it's that one because this one is like super white meat. Damn, this is a beautiful piece of fish right here. Okay, here we go. Eureka! No, I hated that. Don't use that.
While the mahi might look super pretty, on the inside its meat was kind of mushy compared to the other fish. It kind of lacked that firm texture that I was really hoping for. 6.4 out of 10.
Now we have the wahoo, and it's the wahoo because it's a very firm piece of meat. Like you could definitely tell that it's a wahoo. Wow.
The wahoo isn't just one of the coolest looking fish, it's also one of the best tasting. Its meat held up super firm, took good flavor on from the paella, and was very flaky, which is something I really enjoy in fish. 7.8 out of 10.
Time for the opah. This one's a little different.
The opah was atrocious. Not only was the meat extremely gelatin-like, it also seeped out a lot of oil and definitely ran its flavor harder than any other fish. 3.6 out of 10.
And now, the most expensive plate out of all of these. Time for the tuna, and I could tell it's the tuna because of the striations in the meat. It kind of just looks like, looks a little different, all right? It's much more white. The tuna turns white when it's cooked. Time to see if I wasted thousands of dollars or not. Wow.
Yellowtail tuna is something you really can't go wrong with. Whether you're eating it raw or cooked in a perfect paella, it will always hold the consistency of the tuna even when it's cooked. 9.1 out of 10.
Okay, time to eat whatever is in this box. There could be an entire rhinoceros in here and I would have to eat it. All right, let's see. And of course it's this thing. All right, how am I even gonna do this? Ow, that actually hurt. Okay, here it is, a live sea urchin. All right, no cooking this thing. Oh,